And we are recording. So let's start our next BrightID community call and AMA. This week we have Victor Ginelli from Shenanigan as our guest speaker. We are so excited to see him and listen to him talk about Shenanigan. I personally want to learn much more. I have missed it so far. And as always, I want to introduce everyone. We have Adam here, our project lead. Michael is here. Michael is our core developer and front end manager. We have Carlos and me are the community managers. Ashraf is a bright idea star, always helps us. And Victor is the founder of Shenanigan. Victor, the stage is yours.
All right, all right. Yeah, that's me, Victor Ginelli. Nice to meet everyone here. Big fan of the Bright ID team, first of all. Thanks for having me. Uh, Always warm welcomes in the Discord, on community calls, all that stuff. I am the founder of She the App or Shenanigan. And what we do is essentially want to bring athletes and fans together on the blockchain using incentives to kind of drive engagement. Uh, I think where we meet Bright ID, actually, you can already see now in our Discord. If you show up to our Discord and you are Bright ID verified, you can actually earn token called Particle as you interact in the Discord. Um, Now, how I did that is we needed some way to ensure people weren't gaming our system. So I decided to one day check out Bright ID's SDK or their API at the time. Messaged Adam and I was like, hey, do you guys want a bot? And he said, sure thing. And then basically 2 days later, we had a bot. And so today I'll be talking a little bit about like the future of Bright ID in Shenanigan, which is really exciting because like we need that kind of uniqueness in the space where we can have multiple accounts to one person. And also the Bright ID bot, and I think the future of like Bright ID bot and really what it kind of means to have a bot on Discord that can have unique users, right? So with, I guess to start with Shenanigan, right? What does it mean to incentivize athletes like through their fans, right? I think right now we see uh, athletes are incentivized by sponsorships and like kind of by Nike shoe brands, things like that. And fans kind of buy the brands to kind of incentivize the athlete. And there's like this weird middleman. And so what we want to do at Shenanigan is create really strong systems that can directly like benefit fans and athletes together. And so one of the things we do is we're an NFT platform. We mint actions onto the blockchain. And so by live streaming their sport as a form of proof, they can essentially mint an NFT around the live stream and put that out for their fans to watch. Kind of like a short term content, but long term as well. If you want to go watch the whole stream, it's really fun. And each time they do we call it a challenge. Each time they do their action on the blockchain, they can actually earn donations that accrue over time. So say they have push-ups, right? 10 push-ups. Say they have 10 push-ups and they fail the first time, they do 5 push-ups, 8 push-ups, right? Well, then their money will be escrowed that they earn in donations till the next time that they try and they actually succeed, or the next time, whenever they actually succeed. Now, you might be asking, well, how do you decide about a push-up? Uh, and I think this is why it's so important that Bright ID has been a part of this project. When people earn their tokens with Bright ID, they actually can vote with those tokens on the results of these challenges. And the results of the challenges, we use a quadratic vote, right? So we take all of this like earned token and we say, hey, we kind of trust you guys and we know you're unique. And by being unique, we're not having gaming, we're not having like 5 accounts. Uh, you know, with quadratic voting, it's hard if you have 5 people as one person, right? And so Bright ID is really big in that, and that's why we needed the bot right away. And so you can decide, you can vote on the outcome. Now, the second part of Shenanigan, I mean, there's a lot more. If you guys, I can actually have a few links for you guys after this. But I think the next part that BrightID really takes a big part in is we actually have a prediction market as well. And with prediction markets, right, you don't want the athlete or the fans that were part of the prediction market voting on the outcome. So, BrightID again, right? Uniqueness. Having even if you have multiple accounts, you're one person. And so we definitely plan on integrating BrightID further into the app as the prediction markets and uh, the particle vote is already actually integrated. So yeah. Now you might be asking, where can I get my hands on this? It sounds pretty cool, right? I want to see athletes on the blockchain already. Yeah, we're building it right now. It's an insider beta. If you own 5,000 particle, you can go buy it on HoneySwap, or you can earn it. It's pretty easy to earn if you want to come in and do some writing or do some coding or share some memes. We even take BrightID memes, like that's fine because we like you guys. Like you can earn particle. And actually, there's an event coming up with Honey, with One Hive, where we are going to sell. We are going to have some like meme, uh, similar to meme staking for NFTs, and give you some honey socks or some sweatpants and real life clothing. And so you've seen what happened with Unisocks, pretty similar to that as well. Uh, and then you can actually design for that and earn some particle as well. So take a look for that. Come by our Discord. I'll have some links for you when we're done. Um, does anyone have any questions? You want to start questions there, and then we can pick up with the BrightID bot for the rest of the meeting. Uh,
Yeah, I have a question so far.
We'd love to.
You mentioned that um, that well, it's the way it sounded to me like is that we're using Shenanigans using the wisdom of the crowds to in different ways, but one of the ways was to verify that a certain event took place. Are those events going to be public? Are those meant to be like public knowledge events, like you know, the push-ups were done on a live stream, and so any member of the public could have witnessed that, and therefore their vote is going to be valid? Or will some of them require some sort of like expert or insider knowledge to vouch for that?
Right. A good question actually. It's one I've pondered for a while, and it is a public knowledge oriented thing. I think in the future we really want to have some systems for experts, but in the beginning, and I think even I don't think it's a problem. I think it's really nice, but things like what's a push-up, right? You can't answer what a push-up is. There's like, are you on your knees? Are you going like this? So it's kind of deciding, it's letting the public say, okay, we're judging the person and their results, and we're doing it quadratically, right? So we're saying,
Yeah,
hey, we want as many people to have an influence over this, but yet still skew it to who's earned more slightly, right?
right.
We don't want a one-to-one.
So
Sorry.
yeah, I get that. So it's answering common knowledge questions, like, or questions where the crowd wisdom would have a good result. Like, what is a push-up? Like,
Right.
that's one where it's like the wisdom of the crowds, you could expect to get a pretty good answer about, was this an actual push-up? Yeah.
Right. We're not solving any like political issues. There's no like, it's very concrete, hard to like quantify data. So yeah, thank you for the question.
So, Victor, what is your take on the gas costs for this?
Oh, I love to talk about this one. We're on XDAI chain right now, so our gas costs are pretty much nil. People can vote, they can do whatever, and actually we have them set up. Obviously, the app is not live yet, but we have meta transactions set up for the athletes as well. So we pay pretty much the entire fees for any athlete to put out content, which means that we actually make a burner wallet for them, similar if you've seen Nifty.inc. We'll make them a burner wallet, and we have like a huge transfer function if they ever want to move to a better wallet. But we make them a burner wallet, and we pay all their gas, and they can just literally go from athlete to dathlete, like a Web 2 experience, which is just I'm real excited about that one. I'm
That's
not
cool.
gonna lie. Yeah. So they can make NFTs for free, pretty much, and that will be really fun. Yeah, good question. Good question. Any more questions? Or
Would you elaborate some more about the role of BrightID in Shenanigan? I can see how people vouching that an event took place should be ideally unique people, everyone just saying for once. But is that all? Is that all the role that unique users would have in Shenanigan?
Sure. So I think, yeah, a big point, a big thing is we don't want people earning tokens that like by alpha 2 accounts, right, or 3 accounts, or into 5 accounts. The second place though is Shenanigan actually will hold a prediction market, and I think that's really the big place where BrightID shines. Is we don't want like we want to be able to tell if the athlete is trying to vote on their own prediction by using a separate account, or if someone that actually was part of the prediction, right, they're a skewed source, right, we should know that they shouldn't be able to vote, and that's I think the big part that BrightID can help with. So yeah, is that
And you're
clear
using
enough?
quadratic voting or quadratic funding in the prediction market as well.
As well, yep. The same
So it's
vote.
like so you're not just going to overwhelm the vote with, it's not just pure who has the most money.
Exactly.
So it's not like the athlete can come in and just, that they can overweight the results because they have a lot of money on their own or something like that. It's you are doing something with quadratic voting or quadratic funding, right?
Yeah. It's actually the earned particle in our Discord, and you earn particle by actually athletes will earn it by putting challenges up. Fans will earn it by voting. There's many ways you can earn like bits of particle, and we use source cred, if you're familiar with source cred, and writing our own plugin.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
So we essentially use source cred and then put that whole model into a quadratic vote and say let's try to flatten this to as many people as possible, but it's still skewed like it's like a little bit because it should be anyway. And the best place to skew it is like how much stakes do you have in the project. I feel like so. We have some other solutions in the mix for getting experts and expert opinions, and I'm excited to share that in about 2 years because it's a big project.
So what was the I didn't quite understand that you were talking about a middleman that maybe is would be nice to get rid of. What was that again? Like with like the athlete sponsorship model or something?
Yeah, I think a big problem with athletes right now, and I think what I'm trying to solve is they're essentially billboards that can shoot a basketball. Like athletes don't own the teams or the shirts that are on their back. And we're really trying to fix that, right? Like Nike, and Red Bull, they make so much money off of these athletes. It's ridiculous. And the athletes, like, yeah, I mean, you can see NBA players get paid millions, but the cutoff is almost vertical. It's like NBA is up here, and then the next one is like hundreds of millions of dollars lower. And it's just a problem. Like, I mean, we have athletes almost as heroes, right? And they're like, oh, aspire to be an athlete, but it's a very heavily skewed 1% problem. Like it's the 1% of the 1%, right? It's like super skewed. And so what this will allow is like athletes can kind of take back ownership and kind of, it's like a place for them on the internet. I mean, YouTube just isn't good enough. It's just not good enough to be an athlete on YouTube or on Instagram or anything like that. So they can have them take that back, make their brand, and actually have really cool content. I can go more into the NFTs as well. We actually use a more complicated NFT model. If you want to, I can show you how deep those go if you would like me to, or we can move on. either is fine with me.
Well,
Depends on
maybe just what is the NFT? What does it represent? I don't. Maybe you
Yeah.
don't have to go too deep, but what are you representing with the
Yeah.
NFTs?
So I talked about challenges, right? Those will be NFTs in themselves, but there's actually going to be a 998, an ERC 998 card above those challenges. And what a 998 allows for is NFTs, or like your classic POAP or whatever, to own other NFTs and other tokens, right? And so we can actually take the challenges, and you can imagine them creating a ledger of attempts, right? And then we can wrap those in a, like, say you're a skateboarder, right? So you make a kickflip card, right? And then you put all your kickflip attempts as a ledger into your card, right? And now you have a collectible, like a list of like attempts, which is just, you could imagine will sell for a premium if you have all of the challenges inside of it, right? Which is really fun. I think it's like this, imagine a baseball card, but you have every single home run that the guy hit in the baseball card to watch as like little GIFs or videos. They'll have the video as well. And so what's cool about the 998 is you can actually batch trade it. So you can sell it as a whole unit. You don't have to sell each piece. And so you can sell it as a single complete card, right? Which is really fun.
So it's like taking a little bit in NBA Top Shot a little bit higher. Like,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be sweet. Can't wait. Yeah. Then there's also, I mean, there's a lot of aspects. We also mint a personal token for the athletes as well, that you can stake inside the cards and earn kind of DeFi rewards on, and some annual yield. So there's that as well. That doesn't really revolve around BrightID. There'll actually be a blog post coming out today about that, so I'll link that when that comes out. So yeah, I think we're around 30 minutes. I can take like one more question before I do the bot, if you guys want to ask anything else.
Yeah, maybe one last question. So what do you think is the target group? I mean, is it amateurs, like half professionals, or also professionals? Where do you see this?
Yeah. That's funny. Like, I think originally the target group was amateurs or like non-professionals. The more I build it, the more I see how much it could help professionals. Like, because like I said, the cutoff is just so steep. Do I think I'll be getting LeBron James anytime soon? I mean, he's making millions and millions. I don't know if he's going to switch anytime, but definitely a lot of named athletes that just don't make enough. So I always like to say that athlete is a loose term, right? You can think of a lot of ways to use this to goal align and to to make internet content. I always like to give the example of professional eating. I love professional eaters. I love watching them do their thing, and this is perfect for them, right? Like, could you imagine? You have like the crazy bad boy chugs, right, where they drink the whole bottle of like Coke, and like in like a certain amount of time, and things like that. Underwater basket weaving. And so athlete is really loose term. You could really take it to many different places. I think it's just easier to mentally model. So
yeah, and maybe some of the bigger athletes could switch over if they just feel really good about what's happening. Like if they understand the problem, they're like, okay, yeah, I mean, I'm doing fine. I'm getting plenty of ads, but I like what Shenanigan is doing. I like that it's helping out other athletes, and I like that equality. So I'm going to jump on board with this. I could see that happen.
Similar to Soldier Boy thing too, right? Where you see like, oh, there's money to be made with these, like, as being a celebrity, right? Like people invest highly. There's gonna be some hype train. I agree. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Gotta build it first.
No, I have one last question, and yeah, who is she?
Who is she? Great question. She is the truth. She's the goddess of Shenanigan, right? So every card is stamped with she's approval. She's risen, she's risen from the ether out of the athlete's struggle and love for their sport, right? And she's there to make sure that everything's fair and ensure that the block, things are all owned by the athlete. That's who she is.
Nice.
Basically a mixture of every piece of advice a coach has ever given you, every like fair score that is like every referee in like the NBA, right? and just like a motherly figure as well. So
Awesome. No, well, I just throw in another question. I'm sorry. Like, do you think this this RRC can be used as well for musicians? Like, they can sell an album as an NFT and it has the songs on it. So, do you think that specific one can be done with that
it's
ERC?
like maybe, right? I guess I don't really like, I have this specific use case for now just while I'm building because I think it's very potent. But you could have, live recordings or some sort of like you know what I mean? Like some sort of process for things that aren't athletics. I think it'd be interesting, right? Like, because the big part about Shenanigan is the goals, right? The challenges. You want to set up and align yourself to have atomic, um, like atomic steps in your process. So an athlete starts right with a backflip, then they go to a backflip, but they stick the landing, then they go to a double back. Like there's like these atomic steps. That's our big thing. So if you could do that with other things, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. That's that was in the original plans. I just wanted to keep it simple for. We played with the idea actually of going the hero savior mentality, right? Like the hero journey approach to marketing or to selling it, and it's hard to sell. It's hard to, but I'm sure people will take it to many different heights, and I think that's the point. So, good question. Okay. I'm gonna get moving on the BrightID bot now because this is actually something I'm super excited about too, and I'm happy to talk about.
Me as well.
Uh, yeah, it's so I think the story is kind of funny with the BrightID bot. I just kind of one day was like, I'm gonna build I need a bot, and BrightID is existing, and I forked a bot that I wrote for Shenanigan, which was a fork of another bot that had already been written. Um, and basically linked it up with the BrightID SDK. I messaged Adam, and within what was it, like a day and a half, I think. Yeah, it was so fast that it just linked up and people loved it. Everybody added it to their Discord, but really it came out of the need for us to like have some sort of requirement of uniqueness, right? It was like we need people to ensure that they're not gaming the system, and I think that problem escalates like it it brings to light like a general like notion of the world on the internet, and it's like it allows for like uniqueness is power, right? Being an individual is powerful because once you can model with individuals, you can start rewarding uh, people as individuals, and having rewards straight through social means like Discord is like I think the future of like crypto or these like fair drops, right? Like we have all these fair airdrops, but really they're not that fair. Like I think we're finding out like they're not, and the bad part, they're not even fair towards the people that are in the projects, like that are like building. And I think having the bot allows for like really just like extract like the next level of crypto distributions and fairness. So that's like really I don't know if I realized that while I was building it. I think I did in the back of my mind because that's the idea I had for Shenanigan. is to just have a better distribution. But yeah, that's like, I think, a really cool thing about the bot. We can definitely get into I don't know if we'll stop there for questions, but I do have future plans to build more on the bot, probably like coming up. I really need to get on that. You know, busy, everybody's busy. But I think future plans for the bot, there's a couple areas. One, I would like multiple, like people to have multiple Discord accounts linked to a single bot. That would be cool, because I think right now it's a little limited. The next one, like sponsorships straight through the bot. And the way that we're going to do that, I don't know who built it, but someone built a BrightID SDK. If you want to shout them out. Was it? Yeah. So I'm sorry if I don't know your name, who built it. I forget. But that is going to really help us. Basically let each server have their own sponsorships. And so you can imagine you buy your sponsorships for BrightID for BrightID server. I don't think you guys need to buy them anymore, but imagine BrightID runs out and they need to buy more. Your sponsorships will not affect another server's sponsorships, which is really awesome. So when you have complete community onboarding, essentially. I think the last thing, like, just will be cosmetics as well. I wrote it in about a day and a half. You can only have one name, right? You can only have the verified role. I think like being able to decide which channels you want the bot in is another thing as well that I can work on. Pretty simple. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like, it's just those little cosmetic things, right?
Yeah.
Any questions? Go for it.
Yeah, I agree with what you just said. I think having it customizable and flexible is going to be really useful. I hear people asking for that, and I think you hit on all the important points. And this is definitely something we want for BrightID. We love the Discord bot, and we'd love to see it improve. So we're definitely behind you on that, and let us know anything we can do to help.
Yeah, Victor, what do we need to do to inspire this? You know, we've budgeted money for it. Like, what kind of kick in the pants we can do? You know, we need to set up
the support is there.
Just put an extra hour in the day.
Yeah, let's give you some more hours.
Yeah,
let's just donate some hours to Victor, so he gets like 50 right? in a day. That'd be awesome.
If you do it and it gets huge, then like, you know, time is money, right? So you can earn a bunch of money, and then you have time, and it all works out. So
it does. I have like, sorry, I put it off this last week, but it'll coming soon. I'll tell you that. Like I want to get at least the cosmetics done. Next week, hopefully sooner. Like I said, I've been just swamped, you know, with work. It's on the top of my list for everything that's other than Shenanigan.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, why we like the Discord bot so much and why it was such an awesome idea, and I'm glad that you came up with that idea, is that it is the simplest, like the absolute simplest way to start using BrightID in your project. If you have a Discord channel, which anyone can have, if you've got a Discord server, you can just add the BrightID bot to it and immediately start using BrightID with your users. So if you have a token that you want to give away, and there are Discord integrations that exist for allowing you to airdrop or tip people in tokens, those already exist. You combine that with BrightID, the role that you assign people, because you can assign people a role once they're verified in BrightID. You can just start like airdropping things of value to people and know that they're not going to be getting more than their fair share of that. Also, we use it ourselves. We started using it right away. We didn't know when we first integrated it, we didn't know what we would use it for in our BrightID Discord, but we handed out the verified role anyway, just because we could. And then the hackathon, the Gitcoin hackathon came up, and we wanted to have a community vote. So it was perfect because we said, okay, cool. Anyone who's BrightID verified, so that the voting can't be gamed, we're just gonna you have to have this verification role that was given you by the Discord bot, and then we used our poll bot to have a poll and to do the voting, and it was perfect. So yeah, I mean, it's so simple. So any project that just wants to like ramp up quickly and start using BrightID immediately, think of how you can use your Discord server to do the things you want, and you will immediately have that bot there at your disposal, which is awesome.
Right. Yeah, I think that motif of just being able to reward people finally in chat rooms, right? Like, is really cool, and like it's just elegant and it's simple. So yeah, totally. Further questions? Thank you. Yeah. So if no further, oh, go for it.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to ask, is it possible to change that wording? That right now we say verified. If it shows up in a server that people are not are not aware of BrightID, they don't know what that means. I think verified wouldn't be the optimal wording for that. But if I have
yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like if I call it
the customizability and the flexibility. Yeah. To change the role, change the message, change. You should be able to change anything you want about it. The basic BrightID functionality should be able to be there, but you know, any of the messaging, how it works, the commands, the roles, things like that, those could be customizable to your server, I would think. What's your take on that, Victor?
Yeah, honestly, that's probably some of the easiest stuff. I might do that today or tomorrow, actually. Like if I feel like people keep asking me about that, but all that takes is simple messaging. I think I've been putting it off to 2K, but I think I can do that. I can't believe I didn't think about it when I first did it. So.
Oh, it's hard to think of everything. That's why with developing, just setting things up in a way that you can iterate quickly is definitely the way to go. Because you're never going to think of everything, especially when it hits the real world. It's going to be like, oh yeah, of course we should have had that. That's, you know, users start asking for things. So that, I mean, looking at the code, having, you know, contributed a little bit to the code and looked at it and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely written in a way that it's easy to upgrade and then you know, to launch a new version of it. And right now it's kind of I like that we are providing the hosting, but there may need to be in the future some way to and I don't know how to do this. This is actually kind of a hard problem, but some way to make it so it's not centralized. There's not a centralized hosting for it. I don't know. That's tricky though.
Right. Yeah, that is a good problem. Probably something with some Filecoin or something. I don't even know. I don't know if there has to be a server, decentralized server thing that's not Ethereum.
Yeah, I mean, it is open source, so you can definitely run your own backend for it. But I think it's great that we're providing a central backend for it, so that you can just invite the bot to your server and have it start working immediately.
Right.
But yeah, for people who are like, wait a minute, I don't trust those guys. I want to make sure that it's doing what I want. Then you can just run your own. The code's all there.
Yeah, now you have me thinking about how I would do it, which you're right, it is a hard problem. It's hard. Sure. Now it's on my mind. I'll put thoughts towards it as well.
Do you have some statistics, like how many users have used the bot, or on how many servers is it running?
Yeah, yeah. If you go to I think it's apps.brightid.org. Actually, it'll tell you how many people have used the bot, which I think it's around 1,800 right now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 1849.
Okay, yeah, we're second
Yeah,
to.
oh, I was just going to say an interesting stat would be because I've seen some bots that show this, so I know it's possible to show how many servers it's on. And it might actually be cool to, I mean, this could be a way to get more servers to want to use it, is you could actually, I mean, we could think of similar to how there's apps.brightid.com, we could have the bot could have its own website that shows what servers are using it, and that could almost be like a way to get your server known to BrightID users. Because I know that BrightID users, when they hear about a new app, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. I want to try it out and see what it's about and see it," because they're it tends to be this similar things kind of repeat themselves in the BrightID ecosystem. So people are like, oh, cool, I got a giveaway here, and now I'm going to get a giveaway there. And I got to, there's this cool app that let me do polling here. So I'm going to also join this other app. And so I think it'd be the same thing with the Discord servers. If BrightID users knew which servers were using it, maybe they go check out those servers. So that could be a cool thing to show.
Yeah, spinning up a front end would be really nice. I agree. We could just do a GitHub.
Or even front end would be cool. Or even just have the bot show. I mean, that's like the bot could spit out like a big list of all the servers. I've seen other bots that do that. That might be too much. I don't know. But but yeah, and I think once we have the sponsorships working with where you have your own batch of sponsorships and you're not sharing a pool, because sharing the pool suffers from like the tragedy of the commons or whatever. But once you have your own pool of sponsorships, you don't have to worry about other people using your pool of sponsorships. Then you also would get, so if you buy your own pool of sponsorships, the way BrightID works is you get your own slot on the apps page. And so you would get, so each Discord server that didn't, instead of using the common pool, they had their own pool of sponsorships, they would get their own slot on apps.brightid.org. So that's one place that people could find other Discord servers that are using it. And then they could have their little blurb there that tells what the Discord server is about. So you could, I mean, it's totally fine to have a mix of apps and Discord servers on apps.brightid.org.
Yeah, this is actually pulling back to like such a funny realization I had, is like how many people use, like it just how scalable this tiny little bot is really, right? Like I didn't realize what I was like, you know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, I just need to make sure people aren't gaming my system, and then it turns out it's a giant problem in the space in general that everybody has, and that now I'm part of the solution, and that's like it's freaking awesome. It's like awesome. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and I think with the improvements to the bot, it'll just get more and more popular. Like once the little things that maybe are holding some people back from using it are solved, then it's just going to explode, because it's the easiest way to use BrightID. I mean, you don't have to have any programming skills. You can just drop it in to your Discord server and immediately start using it.
Yeah, I definitely have some personal stake in it as well. So, like in terms of my Discord wanting sponsorships as well. I've gotten a lot of feedback. So hell yeah. Any more questions and comments, concerns for me? You can ask about the
I'll
bot.
just say that if there's anything blocking you from doing all these awesome things you've got in mind, let us know, and we would like to help remove those blocks or give you whatever support you need. And we've got smart people that can write languages, help you figure things out. If you need sponsorships or anything like all of those things are here. So we'd love to see this bot just absolutely explode, and I think it can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really appreciate that. It's like I said, I think everyone in the space is busy, and it's just a problem of the busy. So I will definitely let anybody know if there's something immediate blocking me, but it's just putting aside, I had to this weekend. I wrote about 4 blog posts, and I had to like design our app. Pretty much, we did like a hackathon for our app, right? And so there's just all this time going into Shenanigan, and just like other projects as well. And I think there's uh, you know, there's just not enough time in the day
I
for
get it, man.
to do. But I definitely want to get stuff done on this extremely soon. I wouldn't put it past me to just kind of say fuck it and just write it really fast. I think like yeah, I think in terms of the sponsorships, that'll probably be a little longer. I mainly because I don't know what I'm really working with yet, but everything else like cosmetics, things like that, very very easy, very fast.
And well, in the long run, I want servers to be able to sponsor their own users and jump through all those hoops. In the
Yeah.
short run, I mean, I would personally put up the sponsorships just to let people go nuts for a while. I'll pony up 10,000 sponsorships to the bot if you want to make it just so it's a free for all.
You want to, yeah, like a common pool. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah. And whatever. Like if people take advantage of it, so what? It was a one-time. It's a one-time thing. And now, and also, I mean, if 10,000 people used it, that would give you a really good signal that, hey, I got something here. Should keep working on this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think having a common pool of sponsorships is fine. And then if you find that you're using a lot, then it's in your best interest to create your own pool of sponsorships, because you'll get to show up on apps.brightid.org. If you're really that popular, you'll rise to the top of apps.brightid.org. You don't have to worry about the common pool of sponsorships running out. If people aren't funding the common pool of sponsorships fast enough and it runs out, then it breaks down for a little while. But if you're funding your own pool of sponsorships, you don't have to worry about that. You have complete control over it. So there's definitely some reasons to create your own pool of sponsorships. And there's also, I mean, there's no harm in having a common pool for the smaller servers who are just trying it out so that they can.
And then
yeah. I like that.
they don't have there's also the concept that which we've always said is, hey, if an app is poor, they can send their people to something else, and that could happen. We think of that on a macro scale, but it could happen on a micro scale. It's like, well, hey, you want to join this Discord, but go join Shenanigan Discord first to get sponsored, and then you can come back and do what you want. And cool, you picked up a new person to check out Shenanigan, and you can even use a bot to, like, we talked about this with Pocket Network. Make them take some actions in your server before it unlocks the ability to sponsor. So like they actually have to spend 15 minutes in Shenanigan Discord doing stuff.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a really cool option for the Discord bot. So yeah, I was gonna say that I mean, the code is in good shape. It could be easily handed off to we could pass the baton to other people in the future pretty easily. So I think once we get our bounty system, we're going through some snags with our bounty system. It's kind of on hold until we get that figured out. We still have hackathon people that we haven't paid out yet. It's like this sad situation where we haven't like figured out how to deal with the gas costs, and we haven't moved enough of our infrastructure over to the ID chain network yet. But once we get our bounty stuff like in full swing again, then I think we should we definitely like add some bounties to the Discord unique bot just to get lots of people hacking on it and getting it in really top shape.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, hopefully I mean, I will definitely have stuff up before those bounties go up. Let's just say that, if that eases any worries. It's been on my list, and my list is getting shorter and shorter in terms of, or it's getting higher and higher up. So that should be good.
Cool, cool. And we really look forward to that. We can't wait. I just want to mention that if there's anyone who wants to make connections on BrightID and they aren't already verified, we can start a connection party together right now. And is there anyone interested in making connections?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I
Oh,
didn't mean
sorry.
to cut you.
Oh, I was just gonna say, before we do that, let's make sure that we thank Victor properly and stop the recording, and then we can move into that part.
I can't thank you enough, man. The BrightID Discord bot is awesome, and we can't wait to see the future for that. And yes, Shenanigan. I personally can dream of recording myself going up to the mountains and then coming back to you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Victor.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm pleasure of mine. So, you guys are always you guys are always really welcoming, and I'm glad I could be of help to you guys. So.
You're on mute.
I hope you'll stay for the connection party, Victor.
I'm gonna stop recording now,
Yeah.
so we can start making connections. Let me stop recording and